Genesis 6 narrative states that the Nephilim are on the earth in those days and also afterwards. If that's true, can we find evidence that corroborates this? I'm L.A. Marzulli. Join me as we go on the trail of a Nephilim. There is a hidden history that's been deliberately obfuscated from the peoples of the world, and that's why I am on the trail of a Nephilim. I am your intrepid host, L.A. Marzulli. Welcome to another episode of On the Trail of a Nephilim, and I think you'll find this story that came in pretty interesting. But first, a word from our trusted sponsor. Recent forecasts predict that the summer of 2024 will be one of the hottest ever on record, with temperatures expected to soar into the triple digits in many areas. The Northeast, Midwest, and even parts of the Pacific Northwest are expected to experience above normal temperatures. And likely with that, drum roll please, normal energy bills for households will be absolutely on the rise. Folks, this is why Peggy and I stay cool with this magical little device. I love the cool air, cost savings, and peace of mind it brings me. This device fills my home or office or the studio with icy cold air without traditional electricity. It's a potential lifesaver if a blackout ever does occur during one of these upcoming deadly heat waves. Folks, as I said earlier, it was 110 degrees on the other side of the Santa Monica Mountains last week. I've never seen it that hot. The new version includes InstaFrost technology that uses revolutionary frost jets to get an instant blast of polar air. Simply place it anywhere you need to cool off and enjoy up to 25 hours of freezing cold air from virtually anywhere. Make yourself as happy and as cool as I am this summer by visiting www.easysummercool.com. That's www.easysummercool.com, easysummercool.com, or simply click the link in the description box below for up to 60% off today with a 60-day risk-free guarantee and fast USA shipping. So this is from Jill. We'll just leave it at that. And I just think you will find this very, very interesting. I could either go on the trail of a Nephilim or I could do supernatural confrontation. Something is going on here. So this is what she says. Dear LA, I really enjoy your program on YouTube. I wanted to share something my great-grandmother, so now we're back, maybe 100 years, something like that, shared with me. She was a small child around the late 1890s. She would go to the Nez Perce Indian Reservation with her dad. So late 1890s, this is like 125 years ago, right? Easily, right? So this is pretty cool. He would deliver supplies to the reservation. Grandma Mooney, as we called her, would play with the other children. But the one thing they were not allowed to do was to go to a certain section down by the river. I asked her why. She would always reply that it was because a family of Bigfoot lived there. If they caught anyone coming into their area, they would eat them. It was a matter of fact knowledge that no one would go to that area. So the Nez Perce wouldn't go near it. Gee, I wonder why. The Bigfoot had lived there for a long time. My question is, have you ever heard of Bigfoot having families? I happened to meet a woman at a conference that came from that area, and her mother lived on the reservation, that it was common knowledge that the Bigfoot lived in the mountains, that they did eat people, so you stayed out of their areas. I just wanted to share that with you. Look, it's very controversial. Some people believe that Bigfoot doesn't exist at all, that some guy in a gorilla suit, and that you disparage yourself if you come on the record and say anything about it. I have watched the Gimli Patterson film numerous times. The first time I saw it was as a small boy, teenager, whatever. I forget where it was aired, but I sat spellbound. It's not a guy in a gorilla suit. The entity in the Gimli Patterson film has breasts. So how many gorilla suits with breasts were there in the 1960s? Hello, right, or 70s? Not buying that for a second. The sightings have gone up exponentially. If you really look at what's going on, the sightings have gone up exponentially in the last 50, 60 years, no doubt about it, to where it's very common. I had one experience with them, with Fritz Zimmerman, my wife, and a photographer, camera woman that was with us. And we were wandering around in this really weird place, Massachusetts, New Hampshire border, right in there. And I've heard about this place before. It has miles of rock walls. No one knows who built them or why. They're just there. And the forest has grown up all around them. So when we were there, it was very still, very quiet, which in itself was weird. And we were trying to find this one dolmen that was located in this park. Couldn't find it. That in itself was weird. We kept wandering around and around, trying different trails. So we're going up this one trail, and I just go, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. In front of the trail is a 6-inch sapling, which has been broken about 3 feet up, broken and twisted. So someone took it and twisted it. Well, you can't break and twist a 6-inch sapling. Normal human being can't do that. And I mean twisted. And it was laying across the path, basically saying, don't come here. So I knew what it was. That's one of Bigfoot's telltale traits. That's what he does. And we continued up the trail, and we found stacked rocks, another sign. And then shortly after that, we found the dolmen, and we filmed. But I never forgot about that. I've been on with David Paulides talking about that. And it's interesting, you talk about the Nez Perce. When I was at the Navajo reservation a number of years back, I want to thank Pastor Curtis for inviting me there. And I'm talking about the Nephilim, and I basically remember saying to the audience, which were all people on the res, that I know that there are certain elders and certain shamans that could take me right to the bones right now of the giants. Of course, no one came forward, and probably no one ever will. They know where they're buried. They know where they are. But a woman took me aside after I was done, and she goes, L.A., we don't, the same story. We don't go down to this part of the river, of the creek, because that's where Bigfoot lives. I'm not making this up. She also said, right behind the church was this mountain. That's where the UFO appeared a couple of months earlier. So it's a very strange place. And yeah, these people, these indigenous people, the Nez Perce and the Navajo and others, the Hopi, have been in there for thousands of years. They know what they're dealing with. So some people call them, the guardians of the forest. I'm not buying that right now. I don't think they're guarding anything. I think there's something going on. In my opinion, what we're looking at, these are the beasts of the earth, i.e. the therion of the earth. And I want to just thank Russ Dizdar for teaching that to me and others at his conference. But also, folks, that Shadow of the Darkness, that book will be coming out again. It's being reprinted. I talked to Charity, and we'll give you more information as soon as we know it. We're going to be running specials to try to get as many copies of this to people as we possibly can. So we'll see what happens with that. But thanks so much for watching. I will be at Go Therefore. I'm not sure when this is going to be aired. I may have already done Go Therefore. I don't know. But I'll be there on Friday night speaking along, and then Sunday I'll be over at the Lifeway Church in Indianapolis. Hope to see you at one of those two venues. But you can also get we have 30 films. I want to thank my business partner, Gil Zimmerman. We are on the trail. The new film we're working on is on the Shroud of Turin and the Holy Fire. And we've already got several interviews in the can, and we'll be telling you more about that. It is absolutely fascinating. And more about that in the days to come. So we have 30 films. There's 13 books. Number 14, which is The Rungs of Disclosure, will be out. Charisma Media is I signed a deal with them. It went to the printers, I believe, yesterday or today, and we'll have it in our hot little hands. There will be a special pre-sale on that. I will be autographing. If you buy the pre-sale, I'll autograph the book for you. How's that? Anyway, folks, thanks so much for watching. Check us out, lamarzulli.com, or streaming, if you want to watch any of the videos, $4.99, streaming.lamarzulli.net. What are you waiting for? You got to do your homework. You've got to start doing your homework. How do you do your homework? Get the books. Watch the DVDs. I'm just one researcher. There's a lot of other great researchers out there that have written incredible books. Mondo Gonzalez, The Red Heifer, and that's back in the news now, isn't it? The Red Heifer Ritual. You'll want to check that book out. And others that we carry in the store, and we are simpatico with these particular authors. Anyway, thanks so much for watching, folks. Remember, there is a hidden history that's been deliberately obfuscated from the peoples of the world, and that's why I am on the trail of a Nephilim.
Officials endeavoring to obtain all top-flying subjects.
Marcel's own words, it was something that he'd never seen before, something from another world. In our opinion, Marcel was a patsy.
Just verbal directions, we know what about it.
That his father was telling the truth.
He dead in the eye, and he said, it really happened, and he held his hand up just like this. They had 6 fingers, not 5.
He said they looked quite a bit like us.
Do you think your grandfather was a patsy?
100%.
Cover-up by the U.S. military.
Do you believe our government has made contact with intelligent extraterrestrials?
I can't discuss in public setting.
Do we have the bodies of the pilots?
Biologics came with some of these recoveries.
He deliberately obfuscated and they lied to the American people.
When the Pentagon decided to lie about what happened at Roswell.
Because standing 6 feet away, this little being about 3.5 foot tall.
She said the nurses who were there during the crash, they're now at a convent.
The first book that Randall wrote, and he said to Jess, he said, that's not fiction.
But for everybody, I mean, this is a human thing. It's a worldwide changing, be life-changing for everyone.
Was certainly not a weather balloon and not something from this earth.